Hi everyone, my name is Paulo. I'm a Brazilian software developer and I work with Flutter for like 3 years. And I'm here to show you guys the new framework that the Brazilian community Flutterando is creating. We are building from zero, from scratch, this framework. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Paulo, I'm 26 years old and I've been working with Flutter for over 3 years. And I also worked in the past in the front end like uh, JavaScript, Vue.js, React, and Angular. I also worked in the back end with Java, .NET, and JavaScript frameworks. Today, I'm a member of the biggest community in the South America called Flutterando. And my purpose here is explain to you what is Vaden. Let's start think. Why Vaden? So as Dart, as the language of Flutter, called Dart. So we noticed that all right, we can bring together Dart and Vaden. So we are creating here in the Brazilian community this framework called Vaden. In this video, I will show you some documentation here, explain a bit about this documentation, right? So let's get started. We are here in the documentation doc.vaden.dev. So I'll explain it to you a little about this documentation. Vaden is like Spring Boot, but for Dart. So it is inspired in the Spring Boot, all right? We have a getting started documentation, about 5 minutes here. So there are some subjects here, like high efficiency and low costs. Vaden uses AOT ahead of time compilation model and generating smaller binaries and remove a backend interpreter necessary to run Dart code. This improves infrastructure, reducing resources consumption, and increasing efficiency. It is much easier. Its syntax is similar to Java, C#, and JavaScript, making the learning curve smoother for developers who are familiar with these languages. All right, that's good because you'll see in the next videos that it's similar to Nest, Spring Boot, C#. All right, it is something that I've been searching to work with in Dart a long time ago, but the only thing we had in the past were those endpoints who were functional endpoints. Right now, we have something similar to Spring Boot and .NET endpoints, as we have classes, methods, we have mappers, everything. Then I show you after here, okay? An objective and structured, Vaden will be a complete ecosystem offering security, robust documentation, and efficient ORM, and support for connections to enterprise databases such as SQL Server and Oracle. All right, that's a big promise here, you know. So I'm really excited to start working with this framework. Right now, this framework is still in development, but we already have something to do to create and start creating, building something to have tests. Okay, so let's get started. All right. First of all, I want to go to introduction. Okay, introduction here. Then we want to talk about the motivation. Vaden, let me scroll here. Vaden was born out of the need for a simple, modern, and extensible backend framework in Dart ecosystem. Okay, it means that it's simple, modern, and inspired by powerful frameworks like Spring Boot, Nest, and or PHP. It is similar to Laravel too. All right. So as I told before, it is a simple framework and everything that I was searching in the past. Vaden brings annotation-based development. Dependency injection, it's a very important part, annotations, dependency injection, that's good. Controllers. So we have our endpoints, configurations, in the controllers using classes, all right? Middlewares, for example, guard middlewares or authentication middlewares. Configurations like database, like the configurations database and external configurations. DTOs to Dart, data transfer objects to Dart. For example, if our endpoint or method needs some entry points, then we have classes. Aiming for productivity and clarity for the first time from the first line. Aiming for productive. Everything here, like dependency injection, controllers, middlewares, everything is for productive. All right? Productivity. Dart is clean, expressive language widely adopted for Flutter. All right, that's a point. Dart is only used for Flutter. You know, it's hard to see someone using Dart with other frameworks. So it is a problem here that will be explained in the next line. But there has been a clear gap in idiomatic backend solutions. All right. Vaden fills this gap with conventions and tooling designed to bring the same fluidity that Flutter brought to UI into backend. That's a good point here because Flutter is an easy framework to learn. So you want to bring this facility, that fluidity to backend with Dart. All right. So basically, what's the point here? As Dart is only used by Flutter, we have some problem here because in JavaScript we have JavaScript in a mobile, we have JavaScript in backend, we have JavaScript in front end with different frameworks in the front end, in the back end, in mobile. All right, mobile we only have React Native, but Dart need more ecosystem to keep this language alive, you know? So that's the motivation here. Core concepts. Let's try to do something, just let's be fast here. Like it is a DTO with some annotation here. Do you know DTOs, data transfer objects? All right. Here we have the encode and the decode DTOs. All right. So we have credentials here being serialization and dynamic serialization. We have dependency injection. That's the best part here. Vaden supports a robust dependency injection system inspired by Spring Boot. All right, Spring Boot. We use notations like component that marks a class as injectable and managed by the framework. All other dependencies annotations like service, repository, and bin are specialization of components. This means any class annotated with this will automatically be registered in the dependency injection container. For example, in .NET and Spring Boot, we just have annotations above the class. Then already it is already used as dependency injection, automatic dependency injection, right? We have configuration annotation that defines the application configuration, all right? Similar to Spring Boot, it serves as a centralized place to define and instantiate beans. These beans are declared via bean methods and are typically used for third-party services. All right, we have third-party services here. Create storage service and add middleware. All right. We do have a example here of controllers. Really simple controllers. We have a class called of_controller. Then we have this method with this annotation with /of. So you can access this endpoint just by hit the IP of your computer /of. You know, automatic dependency injection here. We have a property here that is auto-injected by the framework, all right? This of service. Then we have a endpoint here called barra slash ping. Sorry for my Portuguese. And we have a response here, returning the response OK, calling service. Controllers also support param, carry, body, use middleware, and use guards. All right, I think for today, it's enough to start understanding how these frameworks work. And I think it's really, really similar to Spring Boot, .NET, Laravel, Symfony, and other frameworks like Nest. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to get in touch, in contact with me, I'll send you my LinkedIn profile in the description of this video. Then we can talk. And if you want to support us or even code with us, creating more solutions for this framework, you can contact me on LinkedIn, and I also give you our Discord, Flutterando Discord in the description, right? And once again, my name is Paulo. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.